Recorded Books and RB Digital present Love and Death in Burgundy by Susan C. Shea. Narrated by Suzanne Toren. From The Mysterious Death at the Chateau by P.L. Vickers. Life in a small French village is far more complicated than one might suppose, and memories are long. In the end, what happened couldn't precisely be blamed on the collision of different cultures, although Burgundians will tell you their wines, cheeses, and history set them apart from the rest of the world. The truth is, tragedies ultimately are individual, and this one was no different, except perhaps that the people involved were oblivious to the import of the thunderclouds gathering over their village. That someone would soon be dead did not occur to anyone. Chapter 1. Reigny-sur-Canne was hardly more than a crossroads in Burgundy's famous landscape of pastures and grapevine-planted terroirs on rolling hills, overlooked by tourists for the most part, which was fine with its residents. No shops selling souvenir tea towels and postcards. Not even a wine cave, only a musty-smelling bookstore and a sleepy cafe. Katherine Goff had realized soon after she and Michael transplanted themselves to the village 3 years before that the only reason summer visitors with maps made their way to Reigny was to see the crumbling Chateau de Bellegarde, which had played a role in the medieval clash of titans that defined so much of Burgundy's history. This July morning, the pear tree's shade was welcome. Catherine's 2 guests sipped café crème from ceramic bowls their hostess had found early on in furnishing the old house her husband bought for her on a whim. Katherine, still beautiful at 55, was stationed at her easel, her graying hair gathered in a ponytail, her petite body wrapped in an old patterned apron, and her fingers smudged with paint. "We're going to put on the best show Reigny has ever seen, darlings." She picked up a brush. "Michael will play guitar and sing, of course, and Emile has offered to join him in a duet." Yves, the owner of the bookstore, slumped in a misshapen rattan chair and groaned. "Mon Dieu, Catherine, this does not make me desire to be on the same stage. You understand? Your husband, he is incroyable, amazing, but Emile, he cannot sing well in any language." Handsome, 40-ish, with a strong Gallic nose and dark, almost black hair and eyes, Yves spoke heavily accented English with a drawl, pulling his words out like taffy. "Yves is right," the pretty American woman sitting near him said. "You can't count on Emile's performance to impress an audience other than Jean's nasty pack of dogs." She nibbled some pain d'épices, Dijon's famous spicy gingerbread, with perfect white teeth. "Someone should speak to that man about keeping the beasts in his yard. It's impossible to take a walk without them trailing along as if they were about to jump you. In Cleveland, they would be on leashes." "You're not in Cleveland any more, Penny," Katherine said, as she spun back to her easel, on red leather 1940s heels, a vintage find at one of the summer flea markets, and only €5. "I have a remedy for that. Not for the dogs, of course. They will be with us like ancient curses until we die. Michael says Betty Lou has agreed to do a set, and you two can sing one of those funny disco medleys you do so well. Perhaps we can convince Emile to give us an accordion number instead of singing." She picked up a tube of burnt umber oil paint and squeezed a little onto her palette, wondering if she had been too blunt with Penny, who could go on about how things were done in the city of her birth, a city she had fled the moment her late parents' fortune had been settled on her. She wondered if Yves, who had never seen a reason
Sample complete. Ready to continue?